The room, come on in the room. Bucks losing tonight, 125-111 to the Golden State Warriors. Back-to-back action. Had one last night, yesterday afternoon prior to the Super Bowl. And then you play tonight at home. You're on the road. No, they were home. Excuse me, I'm all off. At home, Milwaukee yesterday. Hubie Brown Day. You win that game. Shorthanded, and then you come back tonight against the Golden State Warriors. And again, turnovers was the story. The fourth quarter was horrendous. You lose the fourth but yeah, I mean, it scores 125-111, and you lose the fourth by 8 points. Just not good enough for the Bucks on tonight. 125-111. Come on in the room. Doc is our Dr. Rice gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. It's the Cream City crossover. The Guru Trick Crosby III.
Chris King.
Justin.
Yeah, Chris King. Where you on location? Where you at right now?
I'm in Aspen, Colorado. So we got Trey, running the post game show, and he does a great job at it. This is what we all are working as a team for. So I'm glad to be here with you guys, and been paying a lot of attention to the Bucks outside of being on vacation. So it's good.
There you go. Appreciate it. Chris joining us on the vacation out in Colorado. So still keeping up with the Bucks on the road here. Hit me on the chat in the YouTube, and then on the Twitter at TCIIESQ. Let's start this thing off. Do a bit of a game recap tonight. 125-111. And again, Damian Lillard, excellent night. So the other night, Super Bowl Sunday, he gives you 43 and 40 some minutes. Damian Lillard tonight in 38 minutes gives you 38 points. 5 rebounds, 7 assists. On the backside of that, he does have 10 turnovers tonight. Again, turnovers is the name of the game, the story of the game. Andre Jackson Jr. with 13 minutes tonight, 4 points, 1 board, 1 assist, 1 steal. He was 2 of 5 tonight. Brook Lopez, 24 minutes. But I mean, you talk about if there was a move that John Horst maybe missed when you got under the second apron, you're trying to figure out what else to do. Man, Brook was awful tonight. I mean, it's getting hard to look at, and it's getting hard to defend watching what Brook Lopez brings to the table every night. 6 points, 4 boards, 3 assists tonight for Brook Lopez. Kyle Kuzma continues to try to fit smoothly and transition into this team. It's crazy because when you look at it, so Kuzma goes 21-6. He ended up with 2 turnovers tonight. You would have thought that Taurean Prince had the better shooting night. With 19 points, 8 boards, 2 assists. He was 6 of 9 and 5 of 7 from 3. You would have thought that Taurean Prince had more points, but Kyle Kuzma ended up with 21 tonight. Taurean Prince with 19. Just goes to show you when you're watching Kyle Kuzma play, he can get to the free throw line very well. 9 of 13 from the line tonight for Kyle Kuzma. So he did his best Giannis impression from the free throw line, at least getting there. He airballed the first one, but after that, at least settled into a little bit of a rhythm. But that you will take that scoring night from a Kyle Kuzma, 21-6. On a night like that, where you're missing Giannis, you're trying to get some different things to work. You need a little bit more. But Kyle Kuzma answered the call. And I think, again, it goes back to that point, because I think a lot of people were itching to say, see, if you had Chris, I mean, can you argue at 21-6 on 33 minutes? Like, is Chris doing more than that on 67% shooting? I don't know. I'm not sure that let me say this. We certainly hadn't seen it. So Kyle Kuzma did everything. I'll just get that out the way before we go into anything else. Kyle Kuzma did everything everybody wants. He was efficient. He scored the basketball. He got to the line, and he knocked down shots, and still had 6 boards tonight. Didn't really play make, no assists, but I like Kyle Kuzma's game, play some solid defense as well. 7 points to Gary Trent Jr. Bobby Porter, 7.7 rebounds tonight. He was an issue as well. 3 for 11 from the field. Ryan Rollins, 2 points. AJ Green, 5 points. Kevin Porter Jr., his first real action as a Buck, 2 points tonight. He did have 2 turnovers on the Golden State side of things. Buddy Hield with 16. Steph Curry again did duel with Dame, and they were a stalemate. 38 from Dame, 38 from Steph, 6 boards, 4 assists. He did only have 2 turnovers to Dame's 10. Draymond Green, is doing whatever he does still in the league. 6 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 technical foul. Wow, he did have 5 steals though. So let me put some respect on his name with the 5 steals. I mean, it wasn't hard because the Bucks were giving the ball up to Golden State all night long. Jimmy Butler, 20 points, 9 boards, 6 assists. 4 steals from Jimmy Butler tonight. Man, I mean, how many steals? They had 16 steals on the night. The Bucks had 20 turnovers. There were 16 steals. So these were live ball turnovers that the Bucks had a lot of during the game. Moses Moody, 13 points. Gary Payton II, 4 points. Pods is trash, but he had 9 points, 9 rebounds. Kevin Looney with 4 points. And then Quentin Post, I mean, was what put this game, I don't want to say out of reach, but he opened this thing up in the fourth quarter. 13 points, 4 rebounds, only 15 minutes from him, but he was 3 of 4 from 3, hit some big shots on the night. Again, I'll say it, turnovers is the name of the game. Bucks had 20 of them. I think that, let me see, Golden State ends up with 9. You're on a back-to-back. I'll say this, I'm not, and a lot of people are down on the Bucks tonight and what they did, and they were kind of upset with how this thing went. On a back-to-back with no Giannis, I expected a loss anyway against the Golden State that had Steph Curry, that had Jimmy Butler, and Draymond, that crew. So I expected it. Again, could I have gone without some of the turnovers? And you got to get yourself into a better spot. Yeah, I thought this team looked like, especially you played it well all the way up to the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth, you let go of some of the rope with the excessive turnovers, with the 3-point shots allowed. And then I think really what hit you with the tiredness of the team coming in on a back-to-back where you play heavy minutes against the Philadelphia 76ers, which again was a really good win, considering that Joel Embiid played, had a huge first half, and then you had Paul George and Tyrese Maxey on the court as well. So they had their quote-unquote big three. So you had to go up against that. So that was a big win. But I thought the offensive rebound, it was one of the things that since you've seen Kyle Kuzma enter this team, I think you've seen this infusion of youth and exuberance to go after rebounds, and I hadn't seen a lot of the offensive boards that you just gave up that you saw a lot throughout the course of the season. That reared its ugly head, especially in the fourth quarter. Golden State had 15 offensive rebounds. Milwaukee had 5 offensive rebounds. Again, in total, I'm trying to see the total rebounds. I don't see the total rebounds. Golden State won 48-30, so they out-rebound you by 11. And that also was an issue. The rebounding at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, what came to be a big problem for the Bucks. So, it is what it is. You would have liked to hold on to the rope a little bit longer, give yourself a shot in the fourth quarter. I thought defensively they played, okay. Steph's gonna get Steph. It is what it is. I thought Jimmy Butler got some fouls. That just kind of happened. Where Jimmy. Because let me see Jimmy Butler. That's Jimmy Butler's stat line: 29-6. He had 20 points on 4 made field goals. I mean, it wasn't like he was out there lighting it up. He was 12 of 15 from the line. A lot of them on jump shots. So, I mean, Jimmy Butler has that whistle. He had one. Jimmy Butler had one that, like, he was trying to get a rebound. They acted like he had a controlled tip and gave him 2 free throws. I didn't understand that one at all. But then the last thing I say, I thought Doc Rivers, to me, this is one where Doc takes a lot of responsibility too for me here, because he tried to get real cute with the Pat Connaughton minutes. And you have Kevin Porter Jr. We got a lot of questions to get answered when Kevin Porter Jr. comes in. Like he was kind of stealing Ryan Rollins minutes, and you have now a question of, is Kevin Porter Jr. going to be that backup point guard? And again, he looked nervous to me, like he didn't fit in again. But that's one of the things, you have to acclimate guys into the lineup. But Pat Connaughton, I didn't understand the Pat Connaughton minutes. He didn't really do anything for me, and I thought he was bad. And again, in the 3 minutes that he played, 3 minutes and 22 seconds, it was a -7 tonight. So Pat Connaughton had a rough go. But Bucks losing tonight, 125-111. That's a little bit of what I saw. Chris, what you see?
Well, to me, it's not only the Doc getting cute with Pat, it's also that technical foul that he gets. Right, I forget when it was. It was maybe third quarter, maybe beginning of fourth quarter, but he gets a technical foul when you really
It was in the
just didn't
fourth.
need to do that.
It was in the
Yeah,
fourth.
fourth quarter, they had already made a little bit of a run, but we go get a bucket, and he gets a technical foul after Brook Lopez makes a layup over a smaller defender. You just don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. There's no point for that. And then also maybe when you see your team getting out rebounded, hey, this is like you said, back to back. Guys are tired. Guys are playing a lot of heavy minutes. Maybe you give Sims a shot. I don't know. Off the bench, maybe you just let him roll out there, especially when you're down double digits and that thing was able to kind of get blown open by Golden State. Uh, I want to talk about Kuzma just a little bit, just because I hadn't been there for his debut, and I watched the 76ers game as well. It's a clear impact. I mean, this guy. I mean, the length we talked about a lot, but the rebounding, the effort, the hustle. I mean, even tonight he had a bad turnover and he still gets back down the floor, owns it, and gives a hard foul to Jimmy. But those are the type of things you need. Obviously, there are some mistakes being made where he's still getting adjusted to a new team. Defensive rotations, you give him that kind of leeway. But offensively, I think he could be really good for this Bucks team. And yeah, I enjoy the Kyle Kuzma minutes. So, like we said, a little bit of new life on this Bucks team gets you excited to watch when he's out there. And like you said, Trey, the turnovers. Dame had 9 turnovers today. He looked a little tired. I mean, he scored the ball well, but these are the things on a back-to-back, right? I mean, obviously, us on this program don't like to give a lot of leeway for back-to-backs, but at the same time, I get these guys know Giannis playing heavy minutes. Dame goes 43 last night. Like, some of this stuff is expected. So that's a little bit of what I saw. Kevin Porter Jr., those turnovers could not have happened at a worse time. I mean, my goodness, he looks decent out there with the ball in his hands. He's got it on a string a little bit. Like, he can handle the ball, but little out of control for my liking, right? Especially being his first game as a Milwaukee Buck. So didn't really like that. And then Kuzma, the free throws, it was bad tonight, but then it was good at the end. He ended up righting his wrong and going 9 of 13 from the line. So I didn't have a problem with him being aggressive and driving to the rack, because early on in that first quarter, he had some nice finishes, contested finishes, and that's what this Bucks team needs. So I enjoy the Kuzma minutes, and this one you just chalk it up to bad play, bad shot selection down the stretch, and bad coaching.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what y'all said. Um, just being honest, man, this probably gonna be the hardest post game. I may have to jump off, man. To be honest with you, but I'm gonna try to push through it, man. I don't know if you guys saw earlier today, the Bucks posted something about heart health, right? I lost one of my best friends last night. Passed away during the Super Bowl from a heart attack. So before I go into any Bucks stuff, it was just so ironic that that's the first thing that I see when I logged into my Twitter or whatever. So all you folks out here, Bucks fans, non-Bucks fans, people that ride us that don't, take care of yourself, man. Really take care of your heart. Get out there and get active and keep that thing pumping, man. Yeah, I mean, I saw a lack of focus tonight. Brooke definitely did some things that really frustrated me quite a bit. I didn't even take any Doc Rivers notes. My apologies. Bobby, this probably wasn't a good performance from him tonight either. It's probably Brooks' worst game of the year, I'd say. I mean, it'd be tough to kind of put that together with a game that's any worse than that. But as far as Kuzma's concerned, I did keep my word. I told the post-game show if the Bucks made a trade for Chris Middleton, I would buy the jersey. Pre-ordered it as soon as it came to the Bucks Pro Shop. I do like a lot of the stuff that he's been doing for the Bucks. Um, I do share. I shouldn't say I share because I'm old enough to remember Ray Allen playing for the Sonics, Michael Redd playing for the Suns, Favre to the Jets, Rodgers to the Jets, Jordan on the Wizards, Pippen on the Bulls. My favorite Brewer was Gary Sheffield. He ended up being a Padre. I say all that to say, man, it really, really sucks to lose people like that built something with this team. But when you look at Kyle Kuzma for these last 2 games, you cannot buck your chest up at John Horse to say that he made the wrong decision. Kuz has brought an impact for us. And I hope the best for Middleton, and he'll forever be a Buck. But I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter in the last few days. You know, I was off because of work stuff with it's almost like not weird, but some of the folks in Bucks Nation are cheering for Kuzma to fail just so their point of view on Middleton can be correct. And at the end of the day, we've all said this on this show, you got to root for the front of these jerseys. So, hey, man, the last thing I ever say about Middleton, he was so important to us, and I hope the best for him. But I hope that Kuzma has a better 2 years than what he has, because Kuzma's on my team now. Hey, man, it's a bad game. My last point of the night, man, I hate you stupid Warriors fans that live in Milwaukee. Half of you not even been an hour west of Milwaukee and you're Warriors fans. But this is how stupid you are. You're bandwagoning a team that's not even in the playoffs right now. Like, at least when someone go get you an OKC jersey if you want to be a front runner. We'll let you back on the Bucks bandwagon at some point, but don't front run an 11th place team, man.
No, I'm with you on that one. As people in the chat are saying, you know, sorry for the loss, obviously, and yeah, if you need to step out at any moment, you know, no worries at all. If you can't continue on tonight, appreciate you being here as always through tough times, and you know, like I said, man, always lean on us, and we'll get you through this one. But yeah, I echo all of those sentiments, those words. I see, and you know, I'll say this because I saw it in the chat. And I can't see I can't find it now. I made a note. I saw somebody say Kuzma sucks, or I can't remember. I saw it in the chat. Oh, no, Young City says Kuzma is trash. And here's what I'm getting at on the Kuzma's trash thing. So you know, the whole thing is inefficient. That he tonight. I mean, what more did you want tonight? Again, are you expecting him to take over games? Are you expecting like the Kuz control? You expecting this to go on Kuz control and him to take over the game, give you 35? That's not happening. He's here to be energetic. He's a role player. He's dynamic, and he's going to get to the basket. And I loved it tonight. I mean, he had 6 for 9. He took 1 3 tonight. He missed it badly. But he took 1 3-pointer tonight. I mean, everything was to the basket. And again, I didn't really know that he had that in his game. This little running little hook shot kind of thing, he flips it. I mean, he flips it in, and that's 2 games in a row. He's been on 2 games or 3 games now. This is 3rd game. I mean, he hits it pretty consistently. Like he gets it going, kind of gets you on a head of steam going one way, and he can flip that thing in. And so I think, again, that's what I'm looking for. But again, the biggest thing about him is is efficiency. That's what people talk about. Tonight he was 6 for 9. You can't. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what more were you looking for that he didn't do. Again, he moves well. He does. I can't wait for Giannis to get back into it. And to get this thing right. But I thought he was fine. NYC Demon says, man, oh man, Doc Rivers has been horrible. 0 Sims minutes and overplaying the hell out of Brook. Let me ask you guys about that. Because tonight, again, Brook Lopez tonight, there was Kyle Kuzma should have had an assist. I mean, he throws one right to Brook at the basket. And I mean, I just don't understand it for the life of me how you're 7'1". And I've said it before, maybe because I'm not 7 feet tall. Like, maybe people get tired of dunking. Like, maybe 7-footers get tired of dunking the ball. Maybe it's so easy. It comes so naturally. You're like, you know what? How can I make this attempt at the basket as hard as possible? Because dunking is just too easy. I've been doing that. Brook Lopez, 35, 36. I'm tired of dunking the ball. Yeah, I don't feel like it, right? And Kyle Kuzma throws it right up at him. And it's a point-blank layup, uncontested for a 7'1" guy. And he just misses. He just misses. And it's just like, those are the plays, the rebounds that you're not getting. You're never going out the ball. He had one. I mean, then he's incredibly late. I mean, man, I don't know if you saw that commercial last night with the sloths on Super Bowl. He's a sloth. I mean, he gets the ball, and I mean, like, dude, like, is your awareness on 0? I mean, he's like a grandmother who's getting her purse stolen and just, I mean, dude, just he's holding the ball like a triple threat. And I mean, just do you think nobody would come just take that from you? And then that's not only, and then that's the other thing. You're 7'1", so if somebody does come and try to slap the ball, you should have hands. It's like, no, I'm not gonna let him. I mean, just people just come around, boom, just take it from him and then run down, and he ain't gonna chase nobody. So it's getting to the point where there are a lot of pathetic games that he has, and tonight was one that was pathetic. 2 for 4. He only took 1 3. I mean, again, so if you're not hitting shots, you're not protecting the rim, you're turning the ball over. He had he had 2 turnovers tonight. You shouldn't have had a ball enough where you only took a couple. I mean, he took how many shots? He took 4 shots tonight. So it wasn't like he just had the ball all night and was trying to make things happen. I'm giving Bobby a slight pass tonight because I thought he's played well for I thought he played well for the few weeks leading up to the deadline, and as soon as he got back from the death that he had in his family. So again, he was 3 of 11 tonight, but again, he had a string of really good games. I'm gonna let Bobby, including yesterday. I'm not gonna sit around and again, you can build up. See, that's the thing that people don't understand. You can build up grace. That's how this thing works. You can build up grace. It just so happens that Giannis has built up so much grace that yes, it does get hard for me to really criticize. But yeah, Bobby built up grace over the past month of the season, whatever. So I'm not gonna sit around. He had a rough night tonight. But Brook Lopez, man, like I said, that's one of the ones where it's like man, John Horst, did you make a mistake there? And then I just want to let me get the super chat and I go back to the question if I can find it here. Super chat, William Arrange, appreciate it. He says, "Bam, Brook Lopez is so draining to watch. Turning point win was when Doc subbed in Pat Connaughton. We talked about that. I still have hope for this team. Just hope Giannis returns soon." We'll talk about Giannis in a second. But he says to the point that we're getting at here, Brook Lopez is draining to watch. And you traded for Jericho Sims, right? You've played Kuzma, obviously. You're gonna play him. You've now turned to Kevin Porter Jr. and he played some minutes. Like anyway, I'm not gonna again, he's new. I'm gonna give him a break, for being new. Is it time to give Jericho Sims some run?
Yes, it was time tonight, and they didn't do it. Look, I saw multiple possessions where obviously this was game planned by the Warriors. Hey, we're just going to have Brooks man screen the on-ball defender on Steph Curry, and he's just going to pull it right away. Brook is too slow. He gives you no chance when that happens. And so that worries me. That definitely worries me. You hear the color commentator say Brook Lopez is just way too far back. And it's like, okay, maybe we get some young legs in there, somebody that can at least get a hand up. And I think some of that will change when Giannis gets back into the lineup because you'll have those lineups. Now, we see what Kuzma can do on defense. We see what he can do just with his length and rebounding and stuff. We'll have those lineups with Giannis at the 5, and hopefully they can get that right. But I do think you got to give Sims an opportunity because of just the uncompetitiveness of what we've been seeing from Brook Lopez.
Yeah, so one quick thing before I answer the Sims question. Did you see how when you were talking about Kuzma's floaters, each one of our hands went in a different direction? And that's truthfully how he releases it. He doesn't have the same release every time. And I just find that to be absolutely amazing. And if he wasn't a Buck, I'd be frustrated at the foul calls he gets on it. But, and then, Todd, we understand that Brandon and Kevin are from Milwaukee, all that stuff. I'm talking about the other bums that had the 30 jerseys and whoever else they had on that don't have a connection to them 2 guys that are from Milwaukee. So as far as Sims, hey, Brook can't play back-to-backs anymore. Like, I think he looked absolutely gassed almost from the beginning of the game. So I agree with both of you. I put Sims in the game, and more or less, I put Sims in the game for a hard foul on Jimmy Butler. You want to go down there flopping all the time? Let him send Jimmy a message. Rough him up a little bit. Like, you have that guy on the team for a reason. He's not Liam Robbins. He can run and athletically play the floor, And your boy that was hitting all them threes from, I forget where the dude is from, man. You know the name, though. Boy hit 2 threes in a row on us.
Quentin Post.
Shouldn't even be on, what's his name?
Quentin Post.
Yeah, him too. He shouldn't even be on the NBA roster, man. That dude's a bum. He should be playing in Santa Cruz or something like that. But Brooke is tired. I get it. I understand it. I've been 36 once a long time ago too. At 42, I probably ain't running out to you one of them corners either. I'm gonna let him shoot it and look at the dude and look at him. He's a bum. He's gonna miss it. And the boy went back to back on him. So, hey, I think it's gonna get better when Giannis comes back. Obviously, like you said, Trey, but you got to get a kid a chance, man. Like, you can't do any worse than what Brooke's performance is today. And I think Brooke is a much better player than that. But we're getting past the point where Brooke needs to be playing 40-plus minutes. It's not fair to his body. And we're talking about a guy that had back surgery where he missed almost a whole season a couple years ago as well, too.
Yeah, I think they're going to be limited, Matt. I think, again, obviously everything rests upon the health of Giannis. But, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of Giannis at the 5 lineups. Or Bobby at 5, whatever you want to say. And then, having Jericho Sims there. I see another one. Rick Hamilton says, Kuzma played tall and fast, but kind of out of control. His game is a bit out of control at times, even the drives. But like you mentioned there, Justin, he does get caught. He seems to be able to get calls. Like, that is, he seems on those drives, like, I don't know if it's because he's flailing and falling around, but which again, admittedly he does do. But if he's going to get the calls, I mean, he's like you said, he plays tall. Like, he does play like a 6'9" player that's smooth going to the basket, but it is a little reckless. But he's able to flail, and and I think there's contact there. I do think I think he draws. I think he does draw the contact. So again, I think that's that's been a good thing. Our Bicone says the Bucks did Chris dirty, man. Washington, that's punishment for a guy who helped you raise a banner. I mean, I get it, but I don't, I totally disagree. I don't understand all this Kuzma hate. Let's get to, a couple of these comments here, but that's punishment for a guy who helped you raise a banner. I mean, I guess, but you gave him. He's getting $30 million over the next $30 million this year. He's gonna have $30 million next year. I mean, what do you want? I mean, yeah, you might have to go to Washington. Sorry. Oh, you got to go see there's monuments you can go see. You make $30 million a year, you'll be all right. I don't get the you got to go play in Washington. They could easily flip him. He could easily say, hey, I don't want to be here. They can flip him. So
I wish I could take this picture down and show y'all. And I think we saw it on Twitter today where all the guys on the championship team that are no longer with the team are now gray and black, and the guys that are still on the team are in color. Hey, man, when you win a championship in 2021 and we're in 25, and don't get it twisted, I am a huge Chris Middleton fan during his duration with the Bucks. I think Brandon Jennings may have a point that he's the best small forward ever to play for the Bucks, and we've had some pretty damn good ones. I mean, hell, we've had guys like Paul Pressey, Terry Cummins. Oh, by the way, those dudes didn't stay as Bucks either. They were traded to the San Antonio Spurs. You're going to have the guys that you root for traded. I get it, though, right? I have a 19-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter, and all they know is 22 and 34 on the Bucks. So I understand it, but, yo, stop coming in here with the Middleton stuff. He's not a Buck no more.
Well, and I think the other thing about it though is I don't understand. And again, I get it. He's been with us for he was with the Bucks for a long time, but I've never seen this level of attachment to a number 2. Is I mean, you're acting like it's not. He's not Giannis like that. That's what I'm like. You like the whole. You gotta send him here. No, I don't owe that to the number 2. You may owe that to Giannis a little bit. I don't know that I owe that to the second guy. Like that doesn't. I don't. Nah, that doesn't. That don't do it for me. Like I don't. Yeah, that to me, it just doesn't do it. No, you don't get the second guy doesn't get it.
Who, by the way, was the third guy now. So he ended up not being able to establish himself as that second guy anyway when you bring in Damian Lillard. Look, what I just don't get is that Kuzma has clearly showed an impact in these 3 games. Yes, they're 1-2 in the 3 games, but this is without Giannis, and he comes in here, and it's not like he's putting up stinkers. Like, this is a 21-6 game tonight. And he went 13-15 in the other 2. So like he's not a bad player.
No.
I've been surprised actually with how he's been able to buy in, with his IQ, with, like you guys said, how he's able to play tall. Like, I've just been super impressed, and I'm not going to keep comparing the 2. even John Horst said it. I was researching what he said after the trade, and he says it's not a Chris or Kyle thing, and it shouldn't be for us either as fans. It's, do we think this Bucks team can be better with Kyle Kuzma as a whole after the deadline than it was if you were able to just stand pat and just run it back? And he has a real good point there, and I think most Bucks fans should try to live by that for at least the time being.
Can I ask one quick question? Sorry, I mean, because Chris, you just said he played in 3 games and 2 of them were back to back. Dude, we ain't seen that from Middleton since 21. Just saying.
Yeah, 33 minutes tonight. I can't remember how many he had the other night too. Right, exactly. That's a big one. Sammy says Kuzma hasn't really impressed me. He can't handle the ball, airball the free throw. Again, that's why I just get to the airball the free throw. To me, like, would you have felt better if it hit the rim and he missed? Like, I mean, he missed the free throw. Whether you airballed it, whether it bounced around 18 times, he missed the free throw. It was a bad miss, but he missed the free throw. He went 9 of 13. I'm not going to knock the guy. Reckless player, he does move his feet, but not worth the K-Mid trade. And again, to that I say, Sam, when you say not worth the K-Mid trade, the league determined that's what K-Mid was worth. Again, you couldn't get anything else for him, so it was worth the K-Mid trade. The other one here is I saw somebody said that when you're asking for Jericho Sims is a 15. Doan Monocor says Sims is a 15 string bid. And this is when you're asking for Jericho Sims minutes, you know it's a wrap. That's lottery talk. Yeah, like I don't think people. That's what happened. Like, this is why people, again, you live in like names and you live in what you know, what people. Didn't we just here you go Don Monacar? Didn't we just get cooked by a guy named Quentin Post? Didn't Quentin Post just basically finish the damn game? Because the game was like, when he took that from a 2-point game to an 8-point game, 6 straight, he had 11 points in the fourth quarter. He took all, again, there are other turnovers as well, but that's what basically started the run for Golden State. A guy, Quentin Post, who started some games, but he's no household, no established name. He's just a random backup big, rookie big in the league, young guy, came in and made instant impact tonight. That's what you're looking for. So when you say, well, that's lottery talk, no, it ain't. That's winning game. That's I need somebody to come in and make an impact. Again, you're not asking him to play 40 minutes. I'm asking him to come in and do something for a very short and limited amount of time. So no, I'm not going there where it's like, oh, you're asking for Jericho Sims, that means it's over. No, and again, I'm asking for him next to a guy, especially when Giannis gets back. I can live with it because I got a superstar on the court with him. I don't have a bunch of random scrubs out there. I got a legit team. So no, I need Jericho Sims to come in and do a very specific thing is what I'm asking him to do. Run to the basket, dive to the screen, set hard screens, and dive to the basket and rebound the hell out the ball. That's all you got to do. That's it. I'm not asking you acting as if like he's got to be a focal part of the offense. Like, I'm not asking for that. So no, I think he could be a very valuable member in very short spurts.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're not asking for yesterday. We weren't asking for Jericho Sims to go out there and check Embiid. This was situational. We're talking about when the Golden State Warriors literally rebound 4 times on the same possession offensively. Hey, maybe we get a different look out there because we're on a back-to-back. It's not that we want him to be an everyday player. It's, hey, maybe we go with a different look here on a back-to-back when Brook obviously doesn't have the motor for tonight. So just kind of situational. Remember, we take this game by game, just as the Milwaukee Bucks do. We watch every game, and that's what I think there may be confusing. Is just we're not asking Jericho Sims to be an everyday player, but spurts, why not? You traded for him for a reason. So, yeah.
That's funny. I mean, I don't know what else I have to add. I mean, homie came in and asked like you were asking for David Robinson to come off that bench in his prime. Look, man, I agree with both of you. I want everything that you guys said, but I also want a couple hard fouls. Send a message. Hard, clean fouls, man. Don't let these dudes just prance down your lane and lay it up and dunk it. Send a message. Draymond would do it for those Golden State Warriors, so we need a dude like that. Rebound the ball, block shots, catch an alley-oop on someone, and then, go down Wisconsin Avenue with a bottle of bub in your hand and drink the whole thing and get so drunk on the stage you can't stand up like PJ Tucker did. That's what we're talking about. That's what we want to see in June.
Absolutely. I want to shout out another super chat. Our guy Bolton77, his first super chat on the program. He says, any rumors on any additional moves coming, any buyouts maybe? I have not heard anything. Todd also points out that the Bucks are allowed to sign a mid-level buyout guy who made less than about $8 million, but none of those guys out there, so the spot probably goes to Rollins. Are we sure? I thought they couldn't sign anybody under I thought it was like 12 million, but maybe you're right. It could be around 8 million, whatever it was. I thought it was the I don't know. It was one. It's around somewhere like that. You could absolutely be right. But no, I have not heard of any additional moves coming. Again, I am assuming that it's going to be Rollins that gets the spot. But then again, I look and Kevin Porter Jr. is starting to take over some of those minutes too. So I don't know what Doc Rivers is planning to do or what he wants to do. We'll have to see. But a good question nonetheless. They're on Twitter at Light Seraph says. The Bucks have this. I want to actually talk about this. He says the Bucks have a big decision to make. Is it Gary Trent Jr. or AJ Green who should be part of the rotation? Green is useless if he can't shoot and he can't handle the ball. He won't be able to defend if he's matched up against better wings. Pat Connaughton has no business playing in any more games unless it's garbage time. And he says playing Brook against small ball is a sin unless Giannis plays with him, but even that should be reduced. Bobby's playing like trash on his birthday, but I still trust him to play better. Kuz and KPJ bring electric energy to the team that'll pay out. But I want to get to that point he talks about where he says Gary Trent Jr. or AJ Green should which one of those guys should be part of the rotation or who should be part of the rotation more. And it gets to the point because AJ Green, again, tonight, 5 points. He was 2 of 8. Had some really good looks. Just missed 1 of 4 from 3. I think there's a point in this where there's some sense being made about AJ Green. Where what is his role? I'm gonna say it like this: Does he or should he have a legit role if Giannis isn't in the lineup? Because I think Giannis really gets him a lot of those open looks, and again, that's really what he's taking. Do you think what he brings to the table? Do you think he brings enough to the table where he should take legit minutes if Giannis isn't there? I don't know. Maybe he should. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I do, because when you look at some of the misses tonight, Trey, you said good looks. I mean, those were wide open, and they just rattle in and out, right? And sometimes as a shooter, you have those kind of nights. But to me, I think with Gary Trent Jr., also the emergence of him and what he did versus Philly, 7 made 3-pointers. And even tonight, I thought he was all right. I think it's a situation where it's going to be, you can play them both by committee, but you got to understand who has the hot hand. They're both shooters, make or miss league, like we talk about all the time. It's going to have to be who has the hot hand, because honestly, and we didn't really talk about this in the recap, but I thought TP played well tonight for the first half, at least. He was able to get on a heater. So if he consistently brings it, and just if he's knocking down shots, then you really just got to decide between those two guys. But then you also will figure out what we're going to do with Ryan Rollins and KPJ, and you got some options there. But you're right. I think with Giannis on the floor, he is definitely better. And you are right when you say he gets abused by, because I saw Jimmy Butler. I mean, it was a mismatch. It was a mismatch. So we like his defensive intensity. It's not like he's not trying, but he can be a mismatch out there sometimes.
Yeah, I see my cup. I'm finna waffle. Just let y'all know that right now. I'm finna waffle. So I hear the narrative that AJ shouldn't be on the floor at times, and at times he does look bad. But it's tough for me to say that kid should be pulled off the floor when we've seen Giannis look bad on the floor. We've seen Dame. We've seen Brooke. We've seen Bobby. We've seen TP. So I'm getting all this to say, yeah, man, that kid deserves a bad game too. However, I don't think he even played bad defense tonight. Jimmy just has an insane flopping behind whistle. He's going to get every call in the book. You look at the dude, it's a foul. Dame Lillard, I mean, he could throw the ball up and the ball go through the net. It's still not a shooting foul. So I think it's a bad judge on AJ tonight. I like to see him against an Ant-Man Wednesday, and let's see what happens there. And by no means or stretch, and I'm saying he could check Ant, because there's no one on this planet that can. That dude's half man, half amazing. He's one of the best young talents we have in the game. I'll be watching that game. hoping he gets another fine because I think he has the best post-game interviews ever. But hey, man, I say that shoot or shoot. Reggie Miller said when you're off, you got to keep shooting. So leave AJ in the game. I think it's going to pay off a lot more. And Gary Trent's been pretty solid too, man. Them guys just struggled tonight, man. Everybody struggled tonight, man. Maybe the good thing about the playoffs, we won't have back-to-backs.
That is true. To your point, Chris, Taurean Prince, 19, 8 rebounds tonight, 6 and 9 from the field, 5 and 7 from 3, shot 71% from the 3-point line tonight. Taurean Prince is, and I'm sure maybe it went up after tonight, but he is shooting around over 45% from the 3. He's top 5 in the league, 3-point percentage. And tonight, he was throwing an ocean tonight. I mean, a lot of those were contested corner threes. It wasn't like he was just wide open. There were some interesting angles that he was putting those in from. Taurean Prince just did a really good job shooting the basketball tonight. Let's get back into talk about the turnovers really quickly. What is it? Is this a lack of focus? Is this just carelessness? Again, you have 10 from Damian Lillard. Again, he was the culprit tonight. I mean, out of your 20, you had 10 from Dame, 2 from Kuzma, 2 from Brook, 2 from Kevin Porter Jr., and a host of guys with turnovers as well. But was this just carelessness from Dame, or is there a bigger problem? I mean, it seems like he gets trapped, and it happens pretty often. Where they trap him, it seems like number one, he throws a lot of weak passes. A lot of times he tries to throw this weak little bounce pass at times, tries to force some in there, and then there are the ones where he gets blitzed and just kind of jumps in the air, and he's got to throw it, and it just gets. But what is it? Why are the Bucks having this turnover problem? Is there anything outside of just a lack of focus, or is there something deeper and bigger the Bucks need to tap into where it's like, hey, you got to play better than that. I go to the Kevin Porter Jr. one. I mean, that was in the fourth quarter. It was a bad one. I mean, I think it was the fourth quarter. He had a bad one where he just threw it away. Gary Trent Jr. another one, just threw it right in the middle of just threw it right to him. I mean, I don't understand some of the turnovers. What do you make of them? Or was it just a bad night?
Well, I think it's a little bit of the carelessness, and then they let it spiral into everybody doing it. So when you see that fourth quarter go down and you've got one guy maybe throwing a pass too low to Brook Lopez and he gets it stripped away, and then you got a wide open guy next to you around the perimeter and you try to force it into Brook Lopez at the free throw line, like that all, I think, kind of spirals once your team is doing that kind of stuff. And so tonight, I think it was just carelessness for sure. I mean, you got the guys that are obviously new with this Milwaukee Bucks team. So, I don't know, just a little bit of jitters, stuff like that. But there's no excuse for it. I mean, they just got to be better down the stretch. I mean, that was a really close ball game all game. You had the opportunity to win this game. And when you turn the ball over double-digit amount of times in the fourth quarter, you're not going to win very many games. And we know how bad this team can be in transition defensively without Giannis. So, yeah, I would say I'm going to chalk it up as bad night, not a lot of rest, and just carelessness with the ball.
I'd go with both of y'all. Bad night, just terrible passes. I think on a couple of those turnovers, some dudes were fouled, but they don't wear Butler the third on the back of their jersey, number 10. So, by the way, that dude shouldn't even be able to have number 10 for the Warriors. Like, that's so disrespectful to Tim Hardaway Sr. Like, that dude's a legit hooper, and Jimmy's a legit negotiator, manipulator. Just absolutely bogus. Hey, man, but they got to clean it up. Like, they see the same tape that we see tonight. Dame can't be throwing the ball away. KPJ can't be throwing the ball away. We just got to do better. The thing that I do appreciate about Doc being a backcourt member, hopefully he'll get in there and he'll watch tape with these guys, show them, hey, this is that is this. And a lot of these guys got to handle the ball better, man. The thing I appreciate about AJ Green, he ain't out there trying to be Skip to my Lou. He going to put his body in between yours. It's going to be the right hand or left hand. He going to bring that ball down the court, man. He ain't trying to cross nobody. Nothing spectacular. Get the ball across court, half court, and get it to someone, and let's run the offense. Hey, one quick thing. Sorry, I know you got a super chat. Did Ty get that picture? Sorry.
I think he did.
Yeah, he got the picture. Okay, so he did get a picture. I don't know what Bikum says heard you. I don't know what he's saying heard you about, but appreciate the super chat. R
Everything.
Right, yeah, well, yeah, we ain't here. Todd Merrill says, he says I was impressed with yesterday's victory, deep depressed with tonight's because Golden State's not that good. Yeah, I mean, again, well, I'll just say this, Todd, you could be, but the without Giannis, the Bucks aren't that good. I'm just be honest with you. Like without Giannis, the Bucks aren't that good of a basketball team. Like let's be honest. And there are questions about how good they are with him. But without Giannis, for sure, that is these are Damian Lillard and I mean basically the Portland Trailblazers. I mean essentially. So yeah, I'm not as depressed because I'm not going into a game the games I get depressed about are the games that I go into expecting a win and you lose that game, or you have a 20-point lead, like you did. Who did we blow a 20-point lead to and lost the other night? Atlanta, right? You're up 20. You feel like you're in a good spot there, and you drop one to them. This to me was always felt like I don't know if the Bucks are gonna get this one. And then there were talks about whether he would be out. Whether Dame was going to be out, whether Steph was going to play. I was feeling fortunate that Steph wasn't going to play. And then, of course, he ends up being in the lineup. So, I thought we were going to have some problems with this one. And again, I was glad. I'll be honest with you. I was glad they played as well as they did throughout the game. I really did. And then Todd, again, that just doesn't make any sense. I still don't think Dame and Giannis work. It's the highest scoring duo in the NBA. So I have a hard time going. I don't think Dame and Giannis works. Again, there may not be. I don't think they have the best team around them. I think you still need to get younger. I think Kuzma's the greatest. But what doesn't work? Tell you what doesn't work is Brook Lopez as your 5. That's what doesn't work. Slow foot Brook Lopez playing around back there. That's what doesn't work to me. You have to optimize the lineup for what is best for these guys. And to me, again, whether it works or not, it remains to be seen. But Brook Lopez is not the optimal guy to start the 5 for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's old, slow, doesn't move as well as he needs to. If you're gonna have the guys that are already aging, Damian Lillard's already 34, right? He already is 34. Doesn't play defense. Like you need athletes all over the court. And that's why some of these chats don't make sense.
39 from Curry.
Some of the guys in chat don't make sense where they're telling me, Jericho Sims, what do you mean?
I would almost want to see
no
in
names,
the next game,
but these guys
see Sims start the game.
Did I go away?
I mean, because Rudy Gobert isn't a huge offensive threat, and they're kind of like maybe Rudy's a little bit older version of Sims. So maybe if you put those two guys together, and let's just see. But I mean, we're never really gonna know until Giannis is back, though, right?
Yeah. Hold on. I don't know if we got Trey. Where's Trey at? Trey, you got us? I think Trey, so. We lost Trey, but yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. Brook is when you get Giannis back, and I know we're going to talk about that, and I hope Trey is able to get back in. But when we get Giannis back, I mean, it's going to be huge because now you got to obviously integrate Kyle Kuzma alongside Giannis. But even we were talking about this with Trey, right? Like we have needed kind of a guy who can score at the rim, and I think Kuzma brings a little bit of that too. So it should be interesting.
Hey, man, the biggest thing is this, man. I thought Brook played a pretty good game against the Philadelphia 76ers. I thought he looked decent out there. He's moving his feet. He's doing good things. But I just think that back is older. Those ankles are older. The knees are older. And, I mean, the same thing we talked about. Excuse me, Chris Middleton coming back off bilateral ankle surgery. Here comes Trey. Coming back off of bilateral ankle surgery. Welcome back to Guru.
Yeah, got me.
You good now?
I don't know. See this is what happens when I gotta run it. I don't know my equipment sometimes.
You got it.
Just kind of craps out on me. But I think we're back. I don't know what you guys have been. I hear y'all.
All right, well, give us a second, real quick. I think we should be able to figure it out. But what are you saying?
No, we hear. I hear you now. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I was talking and I don't know what happened. Am I behind?
Hey, only thing you missed was I said that we kind of elaborate on your point, and then I said I'd like to see Sims start the game against Gobert.
Okay. Okay. We're all good though, right? Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
You got him, Chris?
No, but go ahead. I'll just piggyback off the points. You good?
Oh, okay. So for whatever reason, Chris doesn't. Again, I can tell Chris doesn't have me. All right, I'm good though. I can. I don't know what's happening, but we're good.
Bucks after dark.
Yeah, I know it. So yeah, let me I'll say this. And let's start moving along then, so we can get out of here. Giannis's calf. How do you that's what I'm getting at now. Giannis and the calf injury. It's reported he's gonna miss the rest of the he's gonna miss up to past the All-Star break. He won't participate in the All-Star weekend. How concerned are you for Giannis and his calf?
So I'm not concerned at all because I think it's something that he had as a lingering issue. I think that you and JT kind of talked about it when the whole Kuzma thing, Middleton thing went down. Giannis, Dame, Ajax, every player on that roster was playing elevated minutes to make up for Middleton missing. So now with Kuzma being here, who's proven that he's younger and he can run up and down this floor and he can play back-to-backs, I think that's going to give us the opportunity to take a breath and allow Giannis to get back and get healthy. I've never won an injury, but if I was to have one, it would be during the duration of the All-Star break. And I think when Giannis comes back, he's going to be stronger than ever. Hey, Bucks fans, we got to pace ourselves, though. We're not about winning those Central Division things and hanging banners. We can let Cleveland or Indy do that. We've got enough of those T-shirts and stuff. We need to be ready for this postseason. So Giannis, come back, be as strong as you can be, and let's go ahead and let's dunk on the world.
So is this can Trey hear me at least?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Justin, can you hear me?
I got you, bro.
Okay, can you hear me? Because then I'll just go, because I know what you're talking about.
Go.
Are we concerned about Giannis?
Tell him to go. Tell him to go.
You got it.
All right, yeah. So for me, I think this is good to kind of nip it in the butt, because you don't want this to be something lingering. You want, obviously, somebody said it, I think Doc, Giannis knows that he has not played at 100% or at all in these past two playoffs. So for him to be fully healthy throughout the regular season, and where you do worry is that this record is kind of getting close to 500 again. We're still hovering around just a couple games above 500 now. Like, that's where you worry. But to me, I think this is smart for Giannis. Get as much rest as you can. It does take a little bit of a toll on Dame, because obviously we saw 43 minutes last night, and then you go again, and Kuzma's playing a lot of minutes just for being first implemented into this lineup after the trade. But outside of that, man, you just want Giannis to be healthy. You want to see 34 out there in the playoffs, because not a lot of teams can compete with Giannis out there.
Yeah, I guess I'll say this. Concerned. Yes, I am a bit concerned about it. I think anytime you hear calf, especially what happened last year with Giannis, that you can feel this level of concern. What I am is relieved that it's happening now versus happening later in the year, and I'm more so relieved that we have Kyle Kuzma on this roster, so that you can have a guy who can pick up 30, 35 minutes, whatever you need to have him play. And so really you should be, in theory, having less time on Dame. Spider says on back-to-backs, rotations have to be strategic and calculated. Patch 4 minutes, change the game, and Doc needs to play Sims, especially when Brook is not hitting shots, and get Ajax out of the lineup. I 100% agree with Spider on the minutes, and you have to kind of play him a little bit different. But that's getting to my point of, Doc has to really watch the minutes for both Giannis and Dame. I think you get to this point where you just start rolling Dame out there 40 plus, and you're trying to have it work, and sometimes it doesn't. Or at least you increase the ability or the likelihood for injury. And again, that's what you're seeing potentially with Giannis. But again, I think I'm glad that it's happening now. And I think because Chris mentioned it, we're almost getting to that point where, and again, I don't think the Bucks are going to be a play-in team. I think they'll hover. I think they'll get back. I think if I was a betting man now, I would bet that they would be fourth. That's what I'm gonna bet, that post All-Star they're gonna come out and they're gonna go on a run. I bet that. But my thought is, the seeding doesn't matter anyway. But you are at that point now where seeding really doesn't matter. Like even if you finish sixth, like you just have to go out. You can't go out and be like, all right, we got to win every night. We got to play 40 minutes. You just can't. To me, you're not at that point where you can do that. The injury, you've had so many injuries throughout the playoffs. You just got to get to the playoffs healthy. And again, come on, man. If you're the 6th seed and you got to go up against New York, round 1. Oh well, I'd rather have to go up against New York round 1, and have my guys versus push all the way to get the 5 seed and be on the road, so we could be on the road. So we could have Indiana have home court advantage. Even though, of course, Indiana would be a much easier team to play. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on. I'm just all the way good on seeding. And again, we're not even talking about top 3. We're talking about 4, 5, 6. I'm really good on it. Even though I do think the Bucks will finish 4th.
I truthfully feel like this Bucks team can beat anybody in the East and in the West included. I think when they locked in and showed who they were, hold on, let me unzip this joint. We got one of these shirts.
Yeah.
And that was against OKC. So I think as long as we come with the mindset to hoop and we got something to play for, we're fine. I'm not scared of the Knicks. I know that's a great basketball team. I'm not scared of the Boston Celtics. I know that's a great basketball team. Definitely not scared of anybody else. And we got to come in the playoffs. It's like what I told you with the Packers, Trey, and what I told you too, Chris King. Look, when you come out and you get in the playoffs, everybody's good. Seeding doesn't matter anymore. And if you're truthfully a great team that belongs in the championship realm, it won't matter if you play them in your house or their house. Go out, ball out, and hoop and win a championship. Let's get Chris King to Milwaukee down Wisconsin Avenue, man. I know one thing that's not going to be in them playoffs, though. That old clown boy that keep posting about these damn Nets in this chat. Y'all asses ain't going to be nowhere near a playoff.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly would like the favorable matchups. When you talk about whether it's going to be a team like Orlando instead of a team like the Knicks, like these are the type of matchups. But at the end of the day, like you say, Justin, I enjoy that. Look at what Ohio State did. I know it's different, sports, but in the college football playoff, they had the toughest road. They were the 8th seed, and they go play their first series or first game at home, and they win it, and then they go play everybody else, and they go win it. So why not take that tough road? Just if you can get there all the way full strength, that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Can Chris hear me now? You hear me? He still can't hear me. I thought he could. But no, that's fine. But yeah, that's and Todd says they'll be 5th or 6th. Again, if they're, let me say this right now. Let me just see the standings right now. If I go the standings right now, I believe the Bucks are. They're 5th. They are a game and a half behind Indiana. I just have a feel. Detroit. I just don't think Detroit's going to catch them. And even if they do with Giannis, I think Giannis comes back and it'll be fine. And then I think that I do think if it's as close at all, a game and a half, again, unless Indiana puts some real distance on this thing, I think the Bucks will be fine and they'll catch Indiana and be the 4th seed. Just because I just think again, and I just have a lot of faith. Again, it depends on when Giannis comes back. But if Giannis is coming back, basically right after All-Star or a couple games after All-Star, whatever that is, if he's coming back at that point, yeah, no, I've all the faith in the world. The Bucks will just like again. Remember, the Bucks start off 2-8, which was BS, and then what they just came off until you had this recent little 5-5 stretch, whatever it is, of bad average basketball, whatever. The Bucks then went on like a 9. They were 9. They won 9 of 11. Or I will guarantee on this program, the Bucks will have another stretch where they win 8 of 10 games, 9 of 11 games, 10 of 12 games. Like that will happen post All-Star. I have full faith that they will do that. Now again, how far that runs them up? If that runs them up and New York comes back down and you have a chance to get to 3, I'm not predicting that. What I'm predicting, though, is that, yes, they will have a stretch where they go on an 80-90% win clip in 10 games, 11 games, whatever that is, and they'll be fine. And no, Todd says people think Sims is the safe. No. Nobody's saying he's the safe. Like, I think you keep getting it. Just like nobody thought that Kyle Kuzma, nobody's calling him a savior. Nobody's saying he's a safe. But it's how do you work around Giannis? The saviors are Giannis and Dame. I just need to optimize the lineups and the roster around those two players. So if I can fully optimize to the best of my ability, though the roster around those two, that's all I'm looking for. And again, and this is what I say. It's not about saving anything. I'm not gonna say he won the game, but Quentin Post was a huge impact in the game. It was 2 possessions. That's it. I don't think people understand how in a close basketball game, we call it football all the time. I play football, obviously. We call it a game of inches. We call it a game of inches. Last night was a blowout, but in close games, it's not. You play 60 minutes of football, you play 48 minutes of basketball, and in close games, it's 1 to 2 to 3 possessions that can at any point in the ball game, especially in the second half, that can change everything. That can change everything. So that's all I'm saying. Don Monica says Kuzma has a 111 offensive rating and a 130 defensive rating. You know what? And to that I say this. Basketball's meant to be watched, not read. Don't give me all the... I don't care about these ratings and all this. If your stat says that, then your stat is... Kyle Kuzma has played solid defense. I've watched it. I don't need to read what because that involves who was on the floor with him and how they were playing together. Remember when Kyle Kuzma first got in the game the other night when he first played and he was like, they were like, oh, he was a -10 in his first 2 minutes. He played fine. Again, it's not. I'm just saying it's not about that. Watch the game. Kyle Kuzma's been fine defensively. Watch the games. Don't read them. Watch them.
I mean, a lot of Bucks fans are spoiled and they don't remember this 21 championship run. Like, the whole reason why people have nostalgia of 21 is because we're talking about a Pat Connaughton who played valuable minutes, who stepped up and helped us beat the Brooklyn Nets. And then you're talking about a guy like Jeff Teague who got in the game and made valuable minutes, the Thanasis Antetokounmpo and all those type of guys. So to be so turned off from Sims that he can't come in and give you a spurt to take you over that hump, to me, it's wild. Sims can give you enough when Brook isn't on the floor to push the narrative forward to get you over the hump. We didn't lose this game from the first tip-off all the way to the end of the game. We lost it during spurts. And maybe Sims can get some of those rebounds and he could get some of those block shots. He could send that foul message to someone. And look, I don't want the dude to be dirty, but I'm just saying, don't go to the hole expecting it's going to be sweet. And you may think about that in the back of your head, and that may cause you to blow a layup like your boy Brook did tonight. Just say.
The other thing I'll say about the ratings and all these numbers that you're throwing in and all these stats, advanced stats, stuff like that. What I do know from watching the games is that Kuzma is playing heavy minutes. Did Chris Middleton go over 35 at all this year?
Hell no.
I don't think so. I don't know. So what I've seen from him is that he's just been able to be out there for long stretches, be out there and hoop. And that's what you need when we talk about getting younger, 29 years old, and not as much injury history as Middleton. So that's just been a huge plus to me watching these games is like, okay, he can go for long stretches, and you're going to need that.
Yeah, no, you absolutely will need that. And you know what I need?
A $3 beer from Curly's right now.
Yeah, and they on NBA TV tonight. Yeah, we need that. All of that. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. You got to get out there. You got to enjoy yourself at Curly's, Lake Pewaukee, out in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. $3 bottles of pints during all televised Milwaukee Bucks games. They are the official, Michelob Ultra is the official beer sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Get out there Wednesdays and Thursday nights for bingo and trivia. If you do well in bingo, you do well in trivia. Section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2. Wednesday, Thursday nights, they're giving out free tickets, only because Chris can hear me. I won't do the trivia question just because it's too much chaos to try to do it with only one side. We'll pass that.
You can do it.
Well, you can do it. Well, okay, well, you sure want me to do it?
I'm gonna repeat it to him. It's ahead.
Okay, well, it's gonna be tough. I'll just do this. Give me the top. Did anybody know the top 1, 2, 3, 4, top 5 players NBA history and rebounds? Top 5.
Top 5 players in NBA history and rebounds, Chris King.
Top 5.
I'm going to go Dennis Rodman.
No. Not on the list. He's not in the top, 15. No.
Say it again, Chris.
Tim Duncan.
He said Duncan.
He's 6th. 6. Does not crack top 5.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, yeah,
No,
Jack.
Shaquille O'Neal's at the bottom. He's he's brought down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now he's behind top 10. No, 2 of these should be 3 of these should be real easy.
3 should be real easy, Chris.
Like, give me the best play, like some of the best players in history. Who? Kareem 3rd. Yes, Kareem is 3rd.
LeBron James.
No, he is not on that list. Kareem is 3rd. Okay, give me one of the most decorated champions of all time.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell is 2nd. Yes. Again, another guy.
Charles Barkley. I'm taking Todd's answer.
No.
I'm looking at the chat right now.
Slept with all the women.
Oh, Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain is number 1. So you have Wilt, Bill, and Kareem.
Wilt's a good Kappa man too.
Okay. There you go.
Get a couple thousand.
One more. Play. I believe he played in Philly.
Let's go ahead and read them.
Philly?
Yeah.
Moses Malone.
Moses Malone is 5th, and then
he played for the Bucks too.
Played for the Bucks. Okay, and then and I get Elvin Hayes. Elvin Hayes 4th.
Oh, I would have never got Elvin Hayes.
Yeah, I figured one get. There you go. Top 5. Again, that might be what they ask you out of Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. So get out there at Curly's. Okay, I'm just seeing some of these DJ Drew. Yeah, no Karl Malone. There you go. Moses Malone's in there. Barkley, no. Ben Wallace, no. Hakeem, no. Yes, Wilt. There we go. But anyway, get out there at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar. Proud sponsor of the Cream City crossover. Let's do it. Let's do some. Let's see what they're talking about on the Twitter. And
Spider the King.
Say what?
Spider the King, he put that CIAA boy Ben Wallace in the joint, man.
Yeah, try it.
Shout out to Spider, man.
Let's see what we got on the Twitter and see what let's see what we get to on Twitter. At the Wisconsin Kid says back-to-back 40 minutes from Dame. Are we trying to run him into the ground? Not winning a championship with Doc as our coach, and we all knew the season was over when they didn't trade Pat and Brooke. At Quick Draw McGraw says Curry will obviously go down in history books as the better player than Lillard. But man, I don't think Lillard ever came into one contest with the better team throughout their careers. Maybe Dame's rookie year. Damn shame. At Monacore, I think, this is Damon. He's been in here too. Says Horse sabotaged the team to duck the second apron. I would have been cool with Kuzma picking. I didn't realize who this was. Okay, I didn't realize this is a guy from Twitter. Yes, he hates the Chris Middleton trade, and he's just basically digging a horse. Says I would have been cool with the Kuzma pickup if Bobby and Brooke were shipped out instead. Again, Bobby and Brooke wasn't getting Kuzma back, I'm assuming, but nothing would tangibly change with those two on the roster. It'll be 2 more years before this fan base realizes it. At Notions of Nick says, was Doc trolling tonight? Real Pat Connaughton minutes post-trade deadline is insane. At C the South Side says, no Doc Rivers is a story and his terrible rotations and failure to play the athletic big you traded for. At Buckets P says, Lopez and Portis suck. At Midwest Baby 3 says, and y'all don't think the building was cracking tonight? Shout out Milwaukee. The hood pulled up in that bitch because of her Curry and the Warriors. I know it. This is hilarious. And then I'll do a couple more here. At Mad Skill 798 says, this is and always has been a Doc thing. This team with a half decent coach would thrive. Doc is the only reason this team is bad, not the turnovers, not the missed shots. It's him, his bad lineups, his horrible subs, his denial to make in-game adjustments. He needs to go. And then at Shama says, this issue from day one till now has been Brooke Lopez and Doc Rivers. Fire Doc before the deadline and get Mike Brown, please. And then let's do the last one. At Midwest Baby 3 says KPJ is just a bonus, low-key, high-risk reward. Low-risk, high reward. Lopez still the same problems like always. Portis has issues, but I can find reasons to keep. Tired of Andre playing hot potato with the ball. Always home run plays, has no floater. Doc Rivers always questions me. Need better coaching. Kuz is good. No, this will be the last one. At Tank76944 says Doc is a bum. So there we go. A lot from the Twitter. Twitter is always an interesting place, man. It is an interesting place. That's what we got.
Yeah, they killing Doc, man. Hey, Doc had a bad game tonight. Like we can all agree to that, right?
Yes.
Like this wasn't one of Doc's better coaching performances, but I mean, the fact to look at his totality of his body of work and feel like he's a bum, That's just ludicrous to me, man. Like, he's made adjustments. He's put young guys in his place. Sometimes he doesn't pull the right circle peg out of the circle hole and try to put it in a triangle hole. And that happens from time to time as a coach, man. But at the same time, while this Bucks team is learning and growing, so is Doc. And we're going to get there. Just take a deep breath. We put this on Brooke. We can put this on Doc. And we can put this on Bobby. Who else we got? Oh, KPJ. Anybody else? We can't put it on Kuz, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't put it on Kuz. Just to address the Doc thing, I mean, I don't necessarily think he's been bad this year, but there's been points where he does some questionable things, and I think tonight, especially the technical foul, was just a kind of a little bit of a momentum killer because you still had an opportunity, and then you send Steph Curry to the line, and you just know that's going down, and then they get the ball back and score, makes it a 3-point possession. So. That was just kind of a bonehead mistake. The rotations get a little iffy when you don't have Giannis out there. You gotta earn that paycheck a little bit more. So definitely think he could have been better tonight, but that's the least of our concerns when you turn the ball over so many times in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, again, I'm with you guys. Doc Rivers was definitely a problem tonight. I thought talk about the Pat Connaughton minutes. Chris talks about the technical foul. You're not playing Jericho Sims. Again, this is the only pass I can give Doc for tonight. On tonight, I don't think any of that would have mattered. I thought the turnovers are too great, and that was from your point guard. That was from Damian. Half of your 20 turnovers were from Damian Lillard. So I still think it probably would have ended in a loss. Too many backdoor cuts that ended up in layups. Andre Jackson Jr. Fell asleep at the wheel a couple times, not staying as connected as he needed to. Steph Curry. So again, I think you probably still end up with a lot. Like that's one of the. I don't think the rotations. Were itself to blame. But again, for the record, Doc Rivers is 44 and 43 as the Bucks head coach. I mean, this is it's basically a full season of 500 basketball from Doc Rivers. So again, to that I say, Dr. Griffin could have obviously done that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a little much calling Doc Rivers trash or a bum or whatever. Yeah, especially when he was out there again with CP0 and Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and he had to try to win a title with those bums. Those are real bums you trying to win a title with. But let's get to it, man. 125-111 Warriors beat the Bucks tonight. Been going at it for a while tonight. Let's do. You ready to go with game balls?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll go first, and I'll let you and Chris King go game balls. You know me, got to win to get in. Game ball, and here's the thing: I'm gonna do this because I just talked about it and talked about to me the difference in the game. Because Steph and Dame played to a stalemate, essentially 38 points each. Crazy thing is Jimmy Butler and Kuzma played to a stalemate. Jimmy Butler had 20, Kuzma had 21. So to me, the difference in this game, the guy who got it out and figured out a way to separate, at least give the initial separation there in the fourth quarter. My game ball tonight is gonna go to Quentin Post of the Golden State Warriors for again a huge fourth quarter, and he had a lot of impact plays, including the two 3-pointers in the fourth to take it from a 2-point lead to 8-point lead.
Post. Shout out to Quentin Post, man. I can't even argue with you with that one. Only sad thing about it, man, that boy jersey got to be purchased from the custom shop because don't nobody know who the hell he is until tonight. But that's all good though. So I'm gonna give my game ball to first time probably ever, right? I'm gonna give it to the Cream City crossover, Chris King, Trey Crosby the third, and JT. Like my guys held me down, helped me through this show. All of you Bucks Nations, man, this been tough, man, but y'all have kept a smile on my face, and I really appreciate y'all, man. And hey, man, it's great to be a Bucks fan. We gonna agree to disagree and all that type of stuff, man. But at the end of the day, I can't speak for all of y'all. I know what these four dudes on these four on this Cream City crossover rooting for. We rooting for that BUCKS on the front of that shirt, man.
Glad you got the K in there because when Kuzma first got to Milwaukee, his first thing was was, hey, Bucks fans with BUCS, which was crazy to me. But he's got that corrected now, so I'm glad. But yeah, Trey, I think when you talk about Quentin Post too, it was a lot of defensive lapses around that. It was not just this guy, getting on that burner and knocking down, tough contested shots. I think we really enabled him to be able to do that. And then once you see three go in wide open, that fourth one was just a dagger and expected to make it. But to me, I'll go Steph Curry, man. I heard on the broadcast that's four straight, him going 30 plus, and you just can never leave that guy open. Even if he's having a bad shooting night, averages shift back to the median or the mean or whatever. So they didn't do a great job on him, and he made us pay.
Yeah, no, you can get, yeah, absolutely. I'm giving it to Steph there. I do want to address this one point before we go to the look around where Richard C says Ajax is brutal, period. Only Doc would start him constantly. And the only point I want to make on that is we killed Doc for remember the this is how things come full circle. Remember people were killing Doc for not playing Ajax? Remember that? Remember it was play. He gotta play. You gotta play AJ. We gotta have somebody next to Dan to play defense. Gotta. And so Doc Rivers, probably against everything that he wants to do, sees a rookie. He's not a rookie, but a young player, and is playing the young guy. And again, it's not like he's playing. That's the thing. That's the only other thing that I'm also get at. It's not like he's playing him 40 minutes a night. When you say only Doc would start him constantly, he's playing 13 minutes. He played 13 minutes tonight. Played 13 minutes. So it's not, he's playing literal like spurt minute. So yeah, I have a hard problem with, we've transitioned from Doc won't play any young guys to Doc Rivers is starting Andre Jackson Jr. too much, and he's playing them too. We went from only Doc won't play the young guy, the guys can give a spark, to only Doc would start the guy who's giving the spark. Now again, you can question whether because KPJ is on the roster and because you have Kyle Kuzma, maybe there's a little bit more defense on that starting lineup. You can question whether or not you want to put different guys in the starting lineup. You can definitely question that, but I have a hard problem with Doc Rivers has gone the other way, so now we got to question Doc Rivers because he's starting the guy that we all clamor for him to play minutes, and he's only playing 13. Like every other night, it's 10, 13 minutes. Yeah, I have a hard time with that. That's all I want to address.
And it's not just Ajax, so he's playing Ryan Rollins meaningful minutes. When Bobby Portis is cooking, he's playing him, and when he's not cooking, he's sitting him down. Like, hey, I get it. I'm sure all you brothers will agree. But at the end of the day, this isn't the same Doc that refused to play the young guys. So those guys are getting an opportunity to get out there and hoop. And a lot of times, his investment is paying off for him. And will KPJ get in there and go great? Hopefully. Will Sims get in there and go great? Hopefully. But to use Doc as a scapegoat, I just feel like it's weak. Like, we better than that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, yeah, he's clearly made adjustments from last year. If we remember last year, yeah, that's really where everybody was calling for these young guys to get in and get consistent minutes. And it's not. He was kind of forced to do that this year, I would say, just because of the season going the way it did, 2-8 to start. But he's clearly made those adjustments, and he's clearly changed his philosophy in terms of who's going to be able to be trusted out there this year. So it's certainly something to look at. But then, at the end of the day, we are looking at a very bad overall career record from Doc as the Bucks head coach. But that's also, if everybody's going to be in the chat talking about us, look, last year we harped on the record last year. So yeah.
Yeah, no, we absolutely did. So, it's just one of those things that we continue to talk about. And it's one of those things that the Bucks gonna have to get better at. And again, the record's gonna not. The only thing that's gonna matter is the postseason and how Doc does there, and he's gonna have his opportunity. And hopefully, again, we can only judge him, to be honest, when the guys are healthy. So again, you want to see at least Damian Giannis going to the postseason healthy, and we'll figure out from that point. Warriors beat the Bucks tonight, 125-111. Did want to give a second. Of course, we're having some technical difficulties here each other, so I'll be quicker with this tonight on the post game. They want to well, let me do this. First, let me do a look around at the rest of the NBA tonight. 125-111. Dubs beat the Bucks. 95-71 if you're watching the Lakers destroy the Utah Jazz right now. Luka Doncic debut on limited minutes. He has 14 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. His night probably done as the Lakers are up by 20 plus. The Spurs beat the Wizards 131-121. So the mentorship not going so well to start for Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart. The Atlanta Hawks 112-106. They beat the Magic. Cavaliers beat the Timberwolves tonight. Big game from Anthony Edwards. Celtics beat the Heat. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Hornets 97-89. Shout out to Charlotte, keep my parlay alive, keeping that thing relatively close. And then they were getting beat by 20, so I thought they were going to kill the parlay. I had them plus 10.5. Thunder beat the Pels tonight. Kings, another one. Man, shout out to the parlay because I had them boys in there with the money line. They beat the Mavericks on, I think, a game winner in overtime by DeMar DeRozan. And then the Nuggets beat the Trailblazers 146-117. So a good win from them. Of course, last night, everything was about the Super Bowl as the so I'll wait because we'll talk about the Super Bowl, but maybe on Wednesday's show we'll talk about the Lakers trade because I did want to get into that a little bit and the failed. What I really want to talk about is the failed Mark Williams trade with the Lakers with that Dalton Connect. But like I said, I'll pass on that one for now. But I do want to talk about the Super Bowl, of course. Just a dominating performance as the Chiefs get beat down by the Eagles 40-22. Just real quickly on that one. I mean, it looked like the one we saw in Tampa. A little bit of that, and it's one of those things where I think the Chiefs they couldn't hardly get the ball over midfield until the third quarter. The only thing I'm saying is large sweeping things is, again, shout out to Philly. They got the dub. But to me, this game did two things. It has cemented a little bit it has cemented the legacy, the young legacy of Jalen Hurts. A lot of people talked about Hurts. He is a top 10 quarterback. You could argue top 6, top 7, maybe top 5 quarterback in the league right now. You can make those arguments for Jalen Hurts, and I wouldn't be upset with you. But what it does do on the flip side is it stops, it pauses for a moment the Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, the Patrick Mahomes, the GOAT stuff. That's what it pauses. And again, Mahomes and Brady, I think they both started their first 5 Super Bowls. They were 3-2, right? So again, it does not mean at all that Patrick Mahomes can't get there or won't get there in his career. But what we do have to do is pump the brakes on. He's the GOAT. He's there currently. That's what this Super Bowl did because of the way they lost it. That's what that's how this, and yeah, No Strays says, and I told you Kermit the Frog never be the GOAT. You did come in and say that. I'll give you credit there. But that's what this one does. It really pauses that GOAT conversation talk. And Tom Brady, it is the GOAT. Only I say, hey, calm down on the facelifts. Cause hey, one of the Tom is, I mean, man, you ain't got too many more for your face just come off. So you gotta relax on the facelifts. But outside of that, Tom is the GOAT. No question about it.
Yeah, I had a good point, and then you threw me off with the facelift. Talent. He's absolutely amazing.
Sure.
Probably the best quarterback in the game still, if you had to rank him. But for me, what do you always say, Trey? You got to win to get the game ball, right? So Jalen got to be 2. he made the plays that were necessary.
Yeah.
Your boy, what's his name? Spagnolia. He threw those blitzes at him. He threw everything at him. Jalen stood tough in that pocket. He made great throws. I mean, look, man, I hate saying Brady's a GOAT. I think Brady's the most winningest quarterback of all time. I think at some point Patty Mahomes can get there, but just a shout out to that Eagles defensive line. Like, they were running through that Chiefs offensive line, like you mentioned back in Tampa. But the difference between this team in New Orleans compared to Tampa is in Tampa, half their O-line was hurt. No one was hurt this time. These boys were healthy. The Eagles boys, they a bunch of beasts up there. Zach Bond, Brown Deer, Wisconsin native, about a 2-minute walk from my pop's crib. Wisconsin Badger, Super Bowl champion. I just want to say this, and I'm going to let Chris King kill it because that's what he does. He burns that joint down like he Chris Jericho. Hey, man, Jordan Love played the best against that Philadelphia Eagles out of all the quarterbacks they faced this postseason, man. Just want to let you know. If Keyshawn Nixon don't fumble, we might even be talking about this. We might be talking about J Love for president. Too much?
No, that's a good point. I do agree. I think that, Jordan Love really had an opportunity to beat them. But to me, I saw this on Twitter, and I don't know who said it, but Mahomes hadn't really played great all season. Like, if we're being honest, I mean, he made the plays necessary to win in the playoffs, but this season was very underwhelming, and we know that he turns it on in the playoffs a little bit more. But to me, it was just like, how sustainable is this for him to not be playing well throughout the regular season, them just squeaking by due to their defense? And it looked like they needed a shootout to win, and he wasn't capable of doing it. And that's just how it goes. And yeah, definitely pumping the brakes on the GOAT talk. Didn't even necessarily think he could really surpass Brady after losing to him, but at the same time, three-peat would have been awesome. Three-peat, winning 3 in a row would have been cool. But yeah, and outside of that, Kendrick Lamar performance. I know we don't have JT on here to do his get off my lawn take about how it was boring. I thought K-Dot killed it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, that was in the next point. I agree. I thought K-Dot was good. I thought it was a fun performance, and I thought that the imagery was there. And again, it's Kendrick Lamar, so yeah, you're not gonna get. He's not a pop artist. He's not dancing. So he gave as Kendrick Lamar performance as you could get. If you like Kendrick Lamar, you would have liked that performance. I think some people did have a question about his. People may have questioned the set list and whether he could have went with his hits a little more, but I didn't have a problem with it because I thought it was well put together. It really, I'll say this: it probably, and that's the thing, you're trying to battle. How do you want to do? What do you want to do in stadium versus how it comes across on TV? But I really think, to me, there are hundreds of millions of people on TV, so you shouldn't worry as much about how it comes across in the arena or in the stadium. But I thought the production looked very nice on camera. Very nice production on camera. He did what he had to do, and I mean, man, he called Drake a pedophile on in front of hundreds of millions of people. I mean, again, and I think there's a question as to was he going to do that? How was he going? Now I will say I saw videos from inside. Now, again, I've been to 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. Yeah, it is a corporate crowd. It's not a very it's not. It's not rowdy. It's not crazy in there. But so yeah, you're not gonna get. My point is, you're not gonna get that type of atmosphere anyway. From that type of a crowd. So I think there's a lot of questions. Do you devote your time to putting down? I mean, yeah, he went for the knockout, the Drake knockout. I think that was more of what this was about. That culture clash with Drake and K Dot and. Listen, man, he went to the Super Bowl and went and stepped on his rival. Like, I don't have no problem with it. Again, is it the best performance in the Super Bowl performance? Hell no. Not by a mile is it the best. Is it the worst? That's my issue. Yeah, people say, oh, it's the worst ever. Nah, it ain't. Nah, it's not anywhere close to the worst ever. It was decent. It was good. If you like K-Dot, you liked it. If you didn't, you didn't. But I think, if you respect the art, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the last time the Packers went to the Super Bowl? I don't know who them old bastards were out there on them pianos and stuff like that, but I damn near had to order 14 more drinks at halftime to stay awake for the third quarter to watch Aaron Rodgers do his thing. But like when you look at K Dot, right, there's a couple things with this K Dot thing, right? And I'm a older hip hop fan, so I remember Jay-Z in his prime. And I remember one of them punchlines when he was like, I move O's like an Oreo fitted. And no one really got what he said the first time. You got to rewind K Dot's back a couple times. And that just speaks to the prolificity of his lyricism and the shots. Like you talked about the shots, Trey. Serena Crip walking. You got to understand it's more than a visual. And then business singing the hook. Drake, that's to your exes you lost on TV, man. Hey, I thought it was absolutely amazing, man. I'm a big hip hop fan. I mean, the only hip hop halftime joint you can go better than that is Dre's, in my opinion.
I thought that was trash too. But anyway,
that was absolutely amazing. I got about 10 years on you, Guru, so that's probably why.
Yes, it was yeah.
But I mean, hey, I love to hear what my young bull Chris King thinks about that halftime though. I gotta hear what the young generation say, man.
Well, that's my speed, right? That's K Dot. Like I love him. I love Kendrick Lamar as an artist. I think he's phenomenal. I think they did a good job capitalizing off him. Listen, people are not understanding, and maybe this is the older generation. You don't understand this man dissed probably the biggest superstar outside of Taylor Swift and Michael Jackson, and he did it on a national stage in America. Really taking pride in the U.S. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. There's some symbolism and media literacy that you got to talk about in some of those messages. But regardless, you got to love it. You got to love him having the cojones to diss a international superstar like that on the biggest stage. And I mean, regardless of the Not Like Us stuff, I think his what he performed and what he really could have performed certainly warrant a Super Bowl performance.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all. I'm with you there.
Trey,
go ahead.
Can I say one? My bad, because Chris brought. Hey, Kendrick didn't call that boy a pedophile. 85,000 people in that Super Bowl called him a pedophile. Right, he stopped. True. I just want to say that though.
Yeah, no, they also you had 85,000 people strong. Then A minor, man, like I said, it's strong stuff. And then No Strays, I agree. He says can't be worse than when Katy Perry brought out Baby Shark. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like Katy Perry. Don't do it for me. Again, I'm sure there's a crowd that again that's probably a more middle family. Ooh, Katy Perry. For me, doesn't do it. And again, I don't like Katy Perry. I don't have a problem with any of the Katy Perry songs. It doesn't do it for me for a performance. But that's just me. Again, everybody has their own speed. And you have your own speed. Everybody has their own speed. They listened, and your speed tonight was watching and listening to the Cream City crossover. So we appreciate it. Exactly everything. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us tonight. And we have one more show until the All-Star break. Wednesday night, we will be back at it against the Minnesota Timberwolves. See if you can get a dub. Minnesota has plenty of problems. And it's interesting. You know what I'm going to predict right here? I think Brook Lopez is going to have a big game against Rudy. I think Brook Lopez is going to have a big game against Rudy Gobert. That's his speed. Somebody that's not going to drag him outside. That's a Brook Lopez game. Rudy Gobert. So go out there and play well. Hit some threes. Draw Rudy out. Really make him defend you. And let's get to the basket and do what we need to do. So I expect a good one off of that. And then let's see what we can do if we can contain Ant. That'll be one of the Bucks. Again, not like the Minnesota Timberwolves ain't world beaters. So let's go out and you can win that. Dame has to have a big-time performance and then go to the All-Star break and enjoy yourself. And then we'll get back on this thing after post-All-Star break. Again, we appreciate everybody for listening on the Twitter, on the YouTube. Want to thank our sponsors tonight, I want to thank our sponsors tonight, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Lake Pewaukee. Get out there, enjoy yourself. Tell them the Guru sent you. Tell them the Cream City crossover sent you. Proud sponsor of the Cream City crossover is Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Let's see what else. Am I missing anything? I don't think so.
I just want to
go ahead.
I just want to, for the last time, thank all of y'all. Tonight's been hard, but hey, man, I wasn't here with y'all, I don't know where else I'd be right now, man. So Chris King, JT, Trey, the chat, the Twitter, even though I don't agree with 99% of y'all, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all helped me make it through this night. And I just want to say I appreciate you from the bottom of my family's heart to all of y'all. Love y'all and appreciate y'all, man. Sorry, Trey.
No, you're all good.
Well, real quick too, Justin, you've been an incredibly valuable addition. I think everybody knows that. Everybody that watches this program and everybody involved with this program understands what you bring to the table and what we needed in you, really. And so we appreciate it, and we're always there for you, my brother.
Absolutely. And another stellar night from you despite all the circumstances. So again, appreciate it. Shout outs to your family and to the gentleman who lost his life. Rest in peace to him and shout hopefully his family is again it's always tough, but again just prayers and condolences as well from myself personally, and I'm sure from everybody in the chat as they mentioned, and from just everybody around watching who didn't get to mention. So again, hopefully you can find some peace. So again, I appreciate you for staying with us tonight. Appreciate everybody. Good show, man. We're gonna do this again on Wednesday night. If you can hit the like button. Follow us, subscribe to the Cream City Crossover. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend to join the Cream City Crossover live after every single Milwaukee Bucks game. It's the best. This is the best post game show. It's the best live Milwaukee Bucks post game show. That's what I say. I mean, you know what it is. So it just is. It has to be said. Best post game show for the Milwaukee Bucks. Cream City Crossover. This has been a Cream City Media Group production. I know Chris King can't hear me, but from the Guru Trey Crosby III.
Justin.
Chris King.
Hey, got it in. Hey, man. If we are your enemy, it's only because we dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels. Curry.